Super chat from Sean. Random question. The Scarlet Crusade armor you talked about, any idea when they're releasing it? It looks gorgeous. Which Scarlet armor was that?
It was the trading post stuff. The Scarlet trading post stuff from ages ago.
Yeah.
And there's been no sign of it whatsoever. So as far as I am aware, maybe he's pulling up something different. I have no clue.
I'm just remembering what it looks like.
It was the Scarlet set.
Oh, the Scarlet Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the answer is that's just going to be...
New expansion. New expansion!
If there's anything going on in Lordaeron. Because, so while I don't have an answer for you, what I do have is the Scarlet Onslaught, their harbor in Northrend, whenever Matthias Shaw, or whoever it was, went past there in exploring Azeroth. Northrend, it was active with boats and shit. And I think the way it's described is it looks like they were gearing up for something. So, Scarlet Onslaught are coming. That'll be cool.
Yeah, if we were to speculate a little deeper on expansion stuff based on Thrall, then it's like, hey, it's a world revamp. It's a return to Azeroth. Maybe it's not a full world revamp, but it's a return to Azeroth-based stories. And what happens if you go, okay, well, return to Azeroth-based stories, and you go, well, yeah, the Scarlet are going to show up in Lordaeron. They've been building that for a while. It makes sense in so many ways for like how you want to take the story forward, and for humans, and for a whole lot of like everything else. And that you're like, yeah, that seems pretty cool as an idea. So much stuff going on with the Scarlets, and also like we've been saying for a while, World of Warcraft needs a cool moment to have everyone go, yeah,
yes, please, God, please, a cool moment.
And a cool ass moment would be a couple of Scarlet boats landing on the shore and killing loads of boys, and you going, right, time to obliterate the Scarlets. Wait, they've got a source of power and they're now stronger than us. You could even use that to like foreshadow the Light invasion. If it turns out the Light is empowering them beyond anything you've seen before. So the Scarlets are screaming, and they're like, you know, they're like, their Scarlet soldiers are like mass racing half the battlefield. They're like, what do you mean? How are we supposed to fight this? These guys are like zealots in levels we've never been able to see before. They're just like throwing like light, like they've got like artillery that's just light blasts looking like the shit we saw in Revendreth. You're like, what? Why is the Light very strong? What's going on? Is there something here you could see that as a whole build up, like run that as a plot thread underneath. Obviously it's kind of important if they show up when they're really strong, but the A plot can be like, we'll sort that out. We'll sort out the Scarlets themselves and like the underlying like build up, as they're doing now with building up themes of like the Titanic descent and Odin's Light and stuff while they're doing Dragonflight. The undercurrent could be building up for the Light expansion by going, hang on, we need a strike team to figure out what's going on here. And that would all be pretty cool.
I'm down.
Again, it's all shit I've made up off the top of my head, except for the Scarlet Crusade coming back, because that's been foreshadowed, as well as all the Scarlet Brotherhoods, like the rightful heir to the Menethil line and stuff like that, all being in the background. So
and
there's
I think
stuff
that
we can
story's
pick up
given Anduin just like pisses off.
Yeah.
And doesn't tell anybody. I think that's the bit that's weird about Anduin. It's that he didn't tell anyone he was going to leave. He just left. He just walked away. Right? I wonder if they'll actually deal with that, how it kind of should be dealt. Right? Because, like, giving you a responsibility, it's like, oh, yeah, sorry, the king left.
Yep.
Right? So, yeah, I think that could make all of that, like, true heir stuff a bit more interesting. And I imagine if you have Scarlet Crusaders rallying behind a true heir to, like, fully retake Lordaeron, that would be cool. I wonder if they would bring the Dreadlords back into that as a way of doing the old mirror and change. You can't just do exactly what you did before.
I have a funny feeling they would actually do the opposite. I have a funny feeling they would, because a lot of the Scarlet kind of thing was a little bit defanged. It was, the Scarlets were actually like led down the darkest of the dark paths by Dreadlord stuff.
Hang on. What if Lothraxion tries to be like, well, boys, hey, let's work together. And they're like, we fucking seen what you lot do before. And they just torture the fuck out of him.
Yeah, it's exactly that, where it is just like, something shows up and they go extremely hard to go, right, we are ourselves. We mean this. We put our leaders are put through the most unbelievable like strain of torture. We're like, maybe not even that. Maybe they disregard. And now this would be kind of shitty, because it would deprive you of a main character and like a super massive villain. But even they could just turn around and be like, we don't have a hierarchy here. we're all just dudes who are on the same purpose here. We're all just dudes fighting on the battlefield 5 inches apart. Like, more or less, instead of the okay, well, we have
effective enemy force you can imagine. They're purposefully leaderless.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, we have a council leadership or something. We don't have one person at the top because that went wrong last time. And that would be like, hey, the Scarlets have character development, but like as an organization.
So here's the deal, right? Bunch of Crusaders coming back. Think about movies. Think about that one, What the Ridley Scott Did. Now, Diablo 4 cinematic, directed by Chloe Zhang of Nomadland. So, we get to have Lothraxian, I suppose just Lothraxian being crucified or some crazy shit.
Bit too heavy for World of Warcraft, but I get it.
No, full go for madness. Anyway, who knows if that'll happen, but, Chekhov's gun. You don't say that the Scarlet Onslaught are getting in their boats if at some point you don't expect them to go somewhere in their boats.
Oh no, you do, because that's the World of Warcraft special is, here's a breadcrumb, we will pick this up in the next 15 to 20 years.
Yeah. That's it. They haven't defined how big Azeroth is. They're like, okay, they left in their boat 2 years ago. It could be 15 by the time they make it home. Like some Monty Python shit. You just see like the little line of their boat and it fucking squiggles around the place.
Oh no, that's it. They get to Lordaeron, but they accidentally go slightly too far eastward. And they end up going the whole way around the planet, and they have to go visit Avalorn on the other side of Azeroth, win all those fights, amass a giant army, and then come that way.
I mean, thinking about them, like they're the ultimate A move people. They just hold the W key, so I could
Easy, yeah.
I could see that going on.